So it looks like I'm almost home. I got here just in the nick of time because immediately after I got here the thunderstorm started. It's still going pretty good, but it's winding down right now. It's a lovely bunkhouse. She's got two nice bunk beds, two bunk beds in here, so it holds four. Same with this room. Nobody's here tonight, so I have it all to myself. Shower upstairs. Downstairs is the bathroom and kitchen, and the lounging area is very. I start my morning walking straight away from the sun towards the west. As I leave the hostel, up here I'll take a diagonal left, a diagonal reverse diagonal. I'll be going back into the sun, but I cannot imagine why any guidebook suggests starting from the east and going west and having this bitter wind early in the morning and then a wind all the day plus the rain when the wind's driving it coming in straight into your face and nothing you can do about it by going from east to west. This doesn't even begin to make any sense to me. So after a very pleasant afternoon and evening at Green Cart's farm, where we ordered in some Indian food from 5 miles away, and it was great. Korma, I think it's called, chicken tikka korma. And now I'll take a left and go on this diagonal, which will bring me up onto the path. I'll put my hood up over my head and my hat, and then my brain will heat up my ears, which are feeling like they're frozen from that wind, and then off we go in that direction. Off in the distance too, you can barely make out, so I'll use a telephoto, that there's a whole bank of windmills up there, and they've been frequent as I've walked along. On a drug note, last night I took a half a pastoral and a Vicodin before I went to sleep, just to give my body every chance to relax and recover. It was tight this morning, but loosened up through exercise and so forth. Feels okay now. And then this morning I've restricted myself to a half a pastoral muscle relaxant and a couple of Excedrin, and I'll see how that works this morning, and I'll see how my knee works. Here, surrounded by some heifers. That one there in particular came over to sniff my hand and my pole. I'm standing in Black Cart's Turret 29A, which is on Sandra's and her husband's property. Nothing novel here. That's where I came down from, and this is where I'm going. And this nearby road sign tells us we've got 2 miles to Chollerford. So a little bit longer than that for those of us walking, because the trail winds about a bit. It avoids that little area there and houses and so forth. And I'll just pan this lovely morning. It's about 8 o'clock. Beautiful day in northern England. And here's the route to Green Cart's, usually taken by the people coming from the east going to the west. They go off to their left here. This area of the trail that I've been walking for the last quarter mile has been recently manicured for the trail, but here you can see the clear evidence of a lawnmower. Here's the wheels as they mow down the trail, and they'll often give sign indications or direction indications that you should look for and follow the mown trail, which is pretty cool, which you can do here in England because it's relatively flat and this trail runs through pasture land, long established. Outside this big building, which looks like either a manor house or a hotel, doesn't have any signs indicating hotel, but I found this interesting artifact, which I think is watering troughs for horses that are either staying here or going by, and also that section there designed to keep them from knocking over that water spigot. Now back on the road for a while as we work our way towards Chollerford this pretty early morning. And my guess is that we're right here at Walwick. We've just turned left onto this road. And the pan you saw was pretty much to the south, to the bottom of this map. Yep. This, which looks like an old school, is for sale. Pretty building, isn't it? Someone with imagination, money, and a long vision could buy this and do what Sandra's done in a small way with her B&B hostel bunkhouse. Very nice accommodation, average accommodation I stayed in that was very nice and very modern and clean and pretty, soft, comfortable, for $20 a night. And then the bunkhouse, which was very rough, literally in a barn, unfinished. Oh, and that was $10 a night. Notice what a nicely constructed wall this is. Large stones for the first 2 courses, then a little bit smaller stones for the next 2 to 3 courses, and then moving up here you can see a little better, smaller stones for the next 2, and then very relatively thin, and then these semicircular stones cap it. Imagine a time when they had the money to build such walls, and on both sides of the street, no less. Now this may either be Chester's fort and or the remnant of the old elegance when the super wealthy may have owned and been able to justify building the fence line I showed you a moment ago, and continues here differently. And down here to our right is Chester's Roman fort. So we'll go take a brief look, see if there's anything to see. Allegedly the best preserved cavalry fort in Britain. It's not open right now. I don't intend to wait. I've seen quite a number of Roman installations, but let's do a Ken Burns on this. Perhaps those were stables, eh? Who knows? I'm now entering deeper into Chollerford, and we should turn right down here somewhere. Chollerford to my left, and we're looking upstream. So you can see on map 16 upper right, we've crossed, actually we're in the middle of the bridge right now, but we'll continue to cross to our lower right and then get to that water well, or wheel rather, and then take a right towards Wall, and then take a left towards Brunton Turret. Apparently that's called a weir, W-E-I-R, which I always thought was something for fishing. You see a lot of them in Asia. Here's the water wheel that the guidebook speaks of. It's not operating, but there it is. We go this way. So not until you get here, coming from the west, is there a sign that I found, any indication that this is the right route. Okay, this is that turret. And now of course it looks into a bunch of trees. This is the first chunk of wall that I've encountered since I left Green Carts this morning. But apparently, if you look at the line of this, it had to cross the river right down there somewhere. straight ahead past that tree. And somewhere down there, there's a path leading to an abutment of a Roman bridge for, I'm sure, the path.